Hi everyone. All right, sorry. I was having issues recording the Zoom call, so I'm going to do a regular video and then I will upload it into the group. So I wanted to talk to you about the nutrition portion of this challenge. You know, I think that sometimes is the most intimidating and challenging thing to attack. So I want to try to talk about the basics now and then answer questions one-on-one and tailor to your needs specifically via messenger, or you know, we could set up a one-on-one call to talk about that as well. So now that a lot of things have switched over to Beachbody On Demand, you know, many of you may not actually have the nutritional guides in your hand, but they are on Beachbody On Demand, or I can send you links to help you more specifically. But one of the things, you know, I ask you for your weight, and you know, it's a great thing to have as a starting point because that's one way to measure progress. But it also helps calculate your nutrition, what your body needs right now, depending on your goals. So you need to first decide, are you working to lose weight? Are you working to maintain? Or are you trying to build muscles? Because your calorie needs are going to be different. Now, once we figure out the calories that you need to intake, you need to know the portions, because I think that as society, we focus too much on the number of calories and not the actual nutrition behind those calories. And that's one reason why we factor in Shakeology, is because we're looking for actual nutrition, not just can we get 300 calories for that snack, or can we get a meal that's under 600 calories. Yes, we need just a second, okay? I'll get you a snack in a minute, okay? You go think about it and then I'll get it, okay? Okay, sorry, I have something in my eye. So once we figure out those calories, we talk about portions, and portions or containers help you figure out the balance of nutrition that you need. You know, everybody body needs something different, and these are kind of guesstimations. So, you know, Autumn, who is part of, you know, important part of creating the program 21 Fix and the containers, talks about the importance of sticking to a nutrition plan for roughly 2 to 4 weeks before making adjustments, because your body is going to go through changes, and you might feel some bloating. You might, you know, feel like, okay, maybe this, you know, I'm tired or whatever, because your body's detoxing. Your body's going through a lot, and that time frame when you're changing things, and as you're increasing like fiber and you know, maybe you're increasing the veggies into your diet, your body's going to go through an adjustment period. If you're cutting out caffeine or reducing caffeine, you know, you might see some withdrawal, you know, same with sugar, you know, headaches, things like that. So you need to give your body time to adjust. So if we haven't already figured out your calorie bracket and the portions you need for every food group, message me and we will make sure you get set up, because once we figure that up, in the links within the files of our group, you can click on the calorie bracket that you're working within, and it'll lead you to different menu plans to help you plan your week and make it a little bit less stressful when it goes to the meal plan time. So let's talk a little bit about the containers themselves. If you don't have these, I think I posted, but if I didn't, I'll post a graphic to tell you what the measurements are for each containers. You don't need the containers to do it. You can use measuring cups the same. But purple, when we talk about purples, that's fruits. And there is also another sheet. I'll be there right in a second, okay, honey? That tells you kind of the fruits that go in there, because just because it's a fruit, or what we think is a fruit, may go in a different container, or it may not be on this plan. So we'll talk about that more. But purple's fruits, greens are veggies. Now, one thing that's a little weird is what you consider a veggie might actually be yellows, like beans. Those are your carbs, in addition to like pastas and rice. Your healthy fats, so, you know, like hummus, avocado, those are things that we'll talk about when it's blues. Reds are your proteins. There you can get this through veggie sources or plant sources, but they can also be animal source proteins. And then your oranges are your seasoned dressings. And then there's teaspoons also. Teaspoons like your almond butter, your peanut butter. Those are also in there. Another thing, not just your containers like the foods, but make sure you're getting enough water in each day. You'll notice a big difference when you're hydrated versus when you're not. For me, something I didn't really realize in my second pregnancy, I was having Braxton Hicks not early, but I felt them more intensely. But actually that's a sign of dehydration. So yesterday and the day before I was dehydrated and I was having a hard time. I was feeling them more and more. Now they're normal to have in a pregnancy, but you can feel them more often if you're not properly hydrated. So that's something that I'm trying to be very conscious of, is making sure that my water intake is up there. And that's for anybody. It's very, very important that you're also hydrated. So also online, and like I said, I can share this in the group as well. There are resources to give you an example of like what actually fits in your green container, and whether you should be measuring it raw or cooked. There's, purple's pretty standard, bananas, peaches, blah, blah, blah. Salsa, if it's bottled, would be actually a purple, but if you make it fresh, it would be a green. So that's where some things are a little bit gray. It's a guesstimation. It's not a big deal if you're off a little bit. You do the best you can. So like I said, we figure out your weight, figure out your calories, and then we figure out how many of each. Do you need 3 purples, 3 greens, 2 reds? What you need specifically throughout your day to stay balanced. Because what you may not realize, and what I didn't realize, we have a focus in society too, like less is more. Well, that's not really true. You may not see weight loss or muscle gain if you're not intaking enough. If you're not eating enough, your body is going to hold on to what you're eating and store it as fat for later because it doesn't know when you're going to eat again. So that is detrimental if you're weight loss. If you're working to gain muscle, your body's going to burn that muscle. If you're not feeding enough nutrients, it's going to burn it. So you're not going to build the muscle that you're looking to build. So that's why it's really important to find that balance with nutrition. There's an app, the 21 Day Fix app, where you can go in and log all of your measurements, and then each day, it'll reset each day, but each day you can keep track. You can plug in, what you had for breakfast and where it fit with the containers, what you had for your snacks, your lunch and your dinner. So you kind of know, oh my gosh, it's 3 o'clock and I've eaten all my proteins for the day. Okay, well, I guess I'm having a vegan dinner or whatever. So it kind of helps keep you very conscious about where you are, and over time it will become natural and you may not have to be as meticulous about tracking that stuff. There's also printables. I can post a link, to help you plan when you do your menus. Okay, I've done, my greens for the day. I got to fit in some protein, maybe add a hard-boiled egg or 2 into a snack. The goal is to have 3 meals and 2 snacks a day, and stop eating and drinking a couple hours before you go to sleep. I will also share recipes throughout the challenge for both Shakeology and for menus and snacks. There's also the Beachbody blog. I'll link some of those recipes sometimes too. It's a great resource for Fix approved, 21 Day Fix approved menus. So make sure you check that out. It's a really great resource, and they, at the bottom of the recipes, always tell you kind of what it equates to with containers, how many greens, how many reds per portion. Like I said, planning this out earlier in the week, you don't have to worry about during the week. You don't have to be writing everything down during the week if you planned your menus and your snacks, on Monday or on Sunday, whenever you do your menu planning. So I hope that answered all of your questions. I'll be sharing tips and stuff throughout the challenge as well, relating to menu planning and fitness tips. But really spend some time today reading through things. If you have questions about your workout program, message me and I will make sure that you get all set up. So, all right, I'm looking forward to the next 3 weeks with you guys, and I hope you have a great day.